Hare Krishna. So we start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shailam Vedam Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayo Nishtaprayasya Bhagavate Nityandavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhakti Nishtuti Om Jnanatirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Yakshunamritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanyam Nishtam Sthapatam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakara Nayam Vidati Satyanam Sikanya Indeham Shri Guru Shri Takadakanam Shri Guru Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganarvanatam Vitam Tam Sajeevam Sarvatam Sarvajitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Bhagava Lalita Shri Vishwatam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavam Namaskite Shantopika Panta Radha Panta Namaskite Puttakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishibhanvasute Devi Pranamami Haripuri Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gauri Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, starting a new chapter, the sixth canto, was the story of Ajamil. Now we are in chapter 2. Anandri, last night you have your book. You can read the summary. You have
Yes,
it?
Yes, Mataji.
Read it very loudly.
Ajamila, Chapter 2, Ajamila delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. In this chapter, the messengers from Vaikuntha explains to the Yamudutas the glories of chanting the holy name of the Lord. The Vishnu Dutas said, now impious acts are being performed even in an assembly of devotees. For a person who is not punishable is going to be punished in the assembly of Yamraj. The mass of people are helpless and must depend upon the government for their safety and security. But if the government takes advantage of this to harm the citizens, where will they go? We see perfectly that Ajamila should not be punished, although you are attempting to take him to Yamraj for punishment. It was due to Ajamil's glorifying the holy name of the Supreme Lord that he was not punishable. The Vishnu Dutas explained this as follows. Simply by once chanting the holy name of Narayana, this Brahmana has become free from the reaction of sinful life. Indeed, he has been freed not only from the sins of this life, but from the sins of many, many thousands of other lives. He has already undergone true atonement for all his sinful actions. If one atones according to the directions of the Shastras, one does not actually become free from sinful reactions. But if one chants the holy name of the Lord, even a glimpse of such chanting can immediately free one from all sins. Chanting the glories of the Lord's holy name awakens all good fortune. Therefore, there is no doubt that Ajamila, being completely free from all sinful reactions, should not be punished by Yamraj. As they were saying this, the Vishnu Dutas realized Ajamil from the ropes of the Yamdutas and left for their own abode. The Brahmana Ajamila, however, offered his respectful obeisances to the Vishnu Dutas. He could understand how fortunate he was to have chanted the holy name of Narayana at the end of his life. Indeed, he could realize the full significance of this good fortune. Having thoroughly understood the discussion between the Yamdutas and the Vishnu Dutas, he became a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He lamented it very much for how very sinful he had been, and he condemned himself again and again. Finally, because of his association with the Vishnu Dutas, Ajamel, his original consciousness arose, gave up everything, and went to Haridwar, where he engaged in devotional service without deviation, always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, the Vishnu Dutas went there, seated him on a golden throne, and took him away to Vaikuntha Loka. In summary, although the sinful Ajamila meant to call his son the holy name of Lord Narayana, even though chanted in the preliminary stage, Namabhasha was able to give him liberation. Therefore, one who chants the holy name of the Lord with faith and devotion is certainly exalted. He is protected even in this material conditioned life. Hare Krishna.
Let's read the next one. Shri Badaraya Nurvacha Egam Te Bhagavad-gita Yama-dutta Vrish Bhashitam Upadharyacha Rajan Pratyahurnaya Kodidaha. So here, so now this is the beginning of the story how the the Vishnudut released Ajamil and the reason for which they did it. So they heard out the arguments of the Yamudita, and then now in the Vishnudutta, my dear king, the servants of Lord Vishnu are always very expert in logic and arguments. So whatever the Yamudita said was perfect. They were all according to Vedic Dharma, right? But then now, the Vishnudut, what is it? Nyaya Kovida, being conversing in good arguments or good logic. It says, oh, text Shri Vishnu Duta Uchu Ahokastam Dharmadvesham Adharma Sprishate Subhat Yatrandanjeshu Pareshu Dandoyer Driyate. We'll repeat and read this section. Devavati, you're reading?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Translation. The Vishnu Dutas said, alas, how painful it is that irreligion is being introduced into an assembly where religion should be maintained. Indeed, those in charge of maintaining the religious principles are needlessly punishing a sinless, unpunishable person. Purport. The Vishnu Dutas accused the Yamadutas of violating the religious principles by attempting to drag Ajamil to Yamraj for punishment. Yamraj is the officer appointed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to judge religious and irreligious principles and to punish people who are irreligious. However, if completely sinless people are punished, the entire assembly of Yamraj is contaminated. This principle applies not only in the assembly of Yamraj, but throughout human society also. In human society, properly maintaining religious principles is the duty of the king's court or the government. Unfortunately, in this yuga, Kali Yuga, the religious principles are tampered with, and the government cannot properly judge who is to be punished and who is not. It is said that in the Kali Yuga, if one cannot spend money in court, one cannot get justice. Indeed, in courts of justice, it is often found that magistrates are bribed for favorable judgments. Sometimes, religious men who preach the Krishna conscious movement for the benefit of the entire populace are arrested and harassed by the police and courts. The Vishnu Dutas, who are Vaishnavas, lamented for these very regrettable facts. Because of the spiritual compassion for all the fallen souls, Vaishnavas go out to preach according to the standard method of all religious principles. But unfortunately, because of the influence of Kali Yuga, Vaishnavas who have dedicated their lives to preaching the glories of the Lord are sometimes harassed and punished by court on false charges of disturbing the peace. Hare Krishna.
Clear?
Yes.
This purport is clear?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, so the discussion is happening here is like, what is dharma and what is adharma?
Adhara.
The first thing, so the Vishnu made a statement. He pronounced a statement. He said, alas, how painful is it that a religion, a dharma, is being introduced into an assembly where religion should be maintained. So what's going on? Indeed, those in charge of maintaining the religious principles, they are needlessly punishing a sinless, unpunishable person. I think we had spoken about that in our class earlier, that we have to be very careful. Each and everybody has to be very careful. You know, if we are parents, if we are, if we have some type of authority over others, or a husband, or a father, right? So we have to be extremely careful when we are dealing with those who are dependent upon us. We should guide them towards Krishna consciousness. And we should not unnecessarily punish them if they want to practice Krishna consciousness. Anyway, I don't know, it seems like the world is upside down. We never figure that out. But I stayed with one family in South Africa. So this lady, she told me her eldest son, she has two sons, and eldest son had some OCD, I don't know what stuff they call this. Then I said, why, what happened? So she told me that he is so like, he's too, I said, like what? So like, he's like a cleanliness freak. I said, what? What cleanliness freak? You know, he's a child. So like, if he touched his shoe, then he should wash his hand. And if his brother hasn't taken a bath, then he doesn't want his brother to sleep next to him. And she was making me such a long list, of how he's like. So therefore, what they are doing, so they took him to a psychologist, and the psychologist was making him touch his shoe, and then take that shoe and touch his cheek to deprogram him from being a cleanliness freak, And I thought that, oh, well, I must be having same, disease as this child, Because we are trained, right? And cleanliness. So I say, your child is a Brahmana, Why do you want him to make him do all dirty things? So who is not punishable, we make them punishable. It was quite an amazing. Anyway, I never figured out what was going on there, but the symptom that she described to me, I thought this boy is a Brahmana. All Brahmanas are careful. What they touch, if they eat, they wash their hands. They don't eat with the left hand, and then they do something with the right hand, right? So here, the Vishnudita is saying how painful it is that our dharma is being introduced into an asana where religion, dharma should be maintained. Indeed, those in charge of maintaining the religious principles are needlessly punishing a sinless
Man.
unpunishable person. Now, this is very surprising. Everybody knows Ajamil is full of sin, right? So what happened? But the Vishnu that has given their judgment that actually he sins. So how this happening? Next week. Prajanam pitaro yecha shastara sadhara samaha yadi syateshu vaishamyam kamyanti sharanam prajaha. A king of, all right, who wants to read now? It's only 3 of us. Read, Shikara.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mata. I am in India. I will read in Hindi. राजा या सरकारी अधिकारी को इतना अधिक योग्य होना चाहिए कि वह स्नेहवश नागरिकों के पिता, पालक तथा रक्षक के रूप में कार्य कर सके। उसे मानक शास्त्रों के अनुसार नागरिकों को अच्छी सलाह तथा आदेश देने चाहिए और हर एक के प्रति समभाव होना चाहिए। यमराज ऐसा करता है क्योंकि वह न्याय का परम स्वामी है और उसके चरण चिन्हों पर चलने वाले भी वैसा ही करते हैं। किंतु यदि ऐसे लोग दूषित हो जाए और निर्दोष तथा अबोध पुरुष को दंडित करके पक्षपात प्रदर्शित करे तो फिर सारे नागरिक अपने भरण पोषण तथा सुरक्षा के लिए शरण लेने हेतु कहाँ जाएंगे? तात्पर्य, राजा अथवा आधुनिक काल में सरकार को चाहिए कि नागरिकों को जीवन के सही लक्ष्य की शिक्षा देकर उनके अभिभावक के रूप में कार्य करे। यह मनुष्य जीवन विशेषतया मनुष्य के आत्मा की तथा भगवान के साथ उसके संबंध की अनुभूति के निमित्त है, क्योंकि पशु जीवन में इसकी अनुभूति नहीं की जा सकती। इसलिए सरकार का कर्तव्य है कि वह सारे नागरिकों को प्रशिक्षण देने का भार अपने ऊपर इस तरह ले कि धीरे धीरे वे आध्यात्मिक पद तक उठ सके और आत्मा तथा ईश्वर से उसके संबंध की अनुभूति कर सके। इस सिद्धांत का पालन महाराज युधिष्ठिर, महाराज परीक्षित, श्री रामचंद्र, महाराज अम्बरीश तथा प्रहलाद महाराज ने किया। सरकार के नेताओं को अत्यंत ईमानदार तथा धार्मिक होना चाहिए, अन्यथा राज्य के सारे कामकाज बाधित होंगे। दुर्भाग्यवश प्रजातंत्र के नाम पर चोर उच्चक के अन्य चोर उच्चकों को अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण सरकारी पदों के लिए चुन रहे हैं। हाल ही में अमेरिका में यह सिद्ध हो चुका है, जहां राष्ट्रपति को निंदित होना पड़ा तथा नागरिकों द्वारा उन्हें अपने पद से नीचे उतारा जाना पड़ा। यह कोई अकेला मामला नहीं है, बल्कि ऐसे अनेक मामले हैं। कृष्ण भावनामृत आंदोलन की महत्ता के कारण लोगों को कृष्ण भावना भावित होना चाहिए और ऐसे किसी व्यक्ति को वोट नहीं देना चाहिए जो कृष्ण भावना भावित न हो। जब कोई भी वैष्णव सरकार में कुव्यवस्था देखता है तो उसके हृदय में अपार करुणा उमड़ती है और वह अपने बल पर हरे कृष्ण आंदोलन का विस्तार करके स्थिति को शुद्ध बनाने का प्रयास करता है। हरे कृष्ण।
A king or governmental official should be so well qualified that he acts as a father, maintainer, and protector of his citizens. Who would you describe like this from Srimad Bhagavatam? Who would you describe like this?
He should be, he acts as a father.
A king or governmental official should be so well qualified that he acts as a father, maintainer, and protector of the citizens because of affection and love. Who, from Srimad Bhagavatam, who behaved this way?
Maharaj Parikshit.
महाराज ऋषभ देव और
Rishabh.
प्रियव्रत।
Ramchandra.
Yes, Ramchandra, who we just studied now. Rishabdev,
ऋषभदेव, प्रियव्रत,
Priyavrat,
Yudhishthir.
then Yudhishthir, Prahlad Maharaj, Amrish Maharaj.
we haven't read them yet. I'm referring
Okay.
to ones that we have studied.
अच्छा, okay, okay.
So
So,
Priyavrat,
what?
Priyavrat,
ऋषभदेव,
Dhruva Maharaj.
भरत महाराज,
Raj,
Bharat Maharaj. Bharat.
Maharaj,
पृथु महाराज,
Kumar. All right. So we have studied in depth how they rule their kingdom and how they took care of the citizens. So here he should give the citizen good advice and instructions according to the standard scriptures and should be equal to all. Who did this? Who gave good instruction to his citizen? Which king? From your memory.
ऋषभदेव,
Rishabdev, yes. Rishabdev, very specific. He gathered all the 100 sons and he gave them the instructions. And famous, very famous from Mahabharata, which we read also about Bhagavatam. Very famous. Who? Bhishma Dev,
Bhishma.
right? Bhishma. I heard that there is chapters and chapters on the instructions of Bhishma. Bhishma Parva, I think they call it. And the instructions of Bhishma. Is it Shanti Parva or Bhishma Parva? I don't know, some Parva. So he gave instruction to who? Bhishma.
On his deathbed.
युधिष्ठिर महाराज,
To Yudhishthir Maharaj,
Yeah,
yes.
on his deathbed.
And whatever we read in Srimad Bhagavatam is just a small nothing. But in Mahabharata, this is very expansive. And even the Mahabharata that we get on our market doesn't give, I mean, it's quite fat book. Even then it's very, very minimal, whatever instruction is recorded there. But Srimad Bhagavatam will give us a sense of this instruction. So he should give the citizen good advice and instructions according to the standard scriptures, and should be equal to all. Meaning he should not invent, so Prabhupada is saying that. We should not invent our own ways. You know, see, this is personal experience. Everybody is inventing their own way how they're going to take care of themselves, their children, or their citizens. So they put up laws. So they sit together, they wrap their brains, then they say they take the original. What is that? Where's the original scripture for mankind?
मनु संहिता,
Manu Samhita. All right. So what do? They look at Manu Samhita, then they wrap their brain, and then they say, okay, we will take this much from Manu Samhita, and the rest we're going to manufacture into our brain. Right? And therefore there is big disaster. So the purpose of the training of the citizens for a gradual process. So it is a gradual process. They will be elevated to the spiritual platform and realize their self and his relationship with God. So these rules and regulations given in Shastra have some purpose. And remember that Jamil broke all those rules and regulations. He broke each and every one of them. But he's being given this amazing chance. All right? He's being given an amazing chance to rectify himself and to start the practice of Krishna consciousness very seriously. So we spoke about how in his childhood he was a good Brahmana boy, he got deviated. And now he just wants to sit and enjoy or what? What should we do? So the duty of the government, therefore, is to take charge of training all the citizens such a way that by gradual process they will be elevated to the spiritual platform and realize a set relationship with God. So the duty of the government is to train the citizens in good behavior. Very, very. So actually, now nobody wants to take responsibility. If there are thieves in your kingdom, if there are murderers in your kingdom, if people are engaged in illicit activities, all types of illicit activities, who will take the responsibility for it?
The government.
Government have to take.
Yes. So whenever something happens, immediately the attention of the people automatically report over the government. Right? It's not a very good position to be in. If you want dharma, then, for each and every mistake that happened in the country, everybody will turn and look at the government and blame them for it. Even if there is cyclone, they will blame the government for it. Right? If there's fire, they will blame the government. Whatever. There's a plane crash, they blame the government for it. They dragged him into it, right? So the duty of the government, therefore, is to take charge of training all the citizens in such a way that by a gradual process, they will be elevated to the spiritual platform and will realize the self and his relationship with God. Meaning the duty of the government is to liberate the citizens. The leaders of the government must be very honest and religious, because otherwise all the affairs of the state will suffer. So, anyway, Srila Prabhupada is giving advice. We don't know who among us may appreciate Prabhupada's teaching and actually try to bring it on the government level. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur did pray when we the judges will be up, right? Because if in the high post government they are able to understand Krishna consciousness, then they can save their population from going to hell, which is described in the next verse.
I thought our Prime Minister said in his speech, Vyakti Nirman se Rashtra Nirman.
What's that?
Vyakti Nirman se Rashtra Nirman. You
What
need
does
to
it mean?
develop good human beings. And through good humans only you can have a better nation. A nation cannot be developed if your basic class goes classless. So what he meant, it was basically you need to get people with the right consciousness and right morality, and then only, because the rest is all, you are just working on the symptoms. The root cause remains unaffected.
Yeah, so if we don't study Bhagavatam, all right, everybody, since we're speaking about it, Bhadra Purnima is on now, distribution of Shrimad Bhagavatam. All right, so you have to gift somebody in Bhagavatam, gift yourself an English set, Shikala. All right,
Mm.
what is it?
True to Bhagavatam said, what I will do. After me, no one will take care of it.
You will read. You will read. You will bring
I'm
the Bhagavatam.
not getting time to read again in Hindi only.
So how you will distribute Bhagavatam if you're not convinced? Hmm?
I
Anyway,
have already in Hindi. I have
all
all
right,
the sets. Chaitanya
all right,
Charitamrita, Bhagavatam.
all right. So if we want to change the world, then Bhadra Purnima is on. So this is the instruction here. You yourself, you are saying it. You're quoting your government. Yes. But if people will engage in meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex, then where will you get good quality people? Right? Meaning the seeds, human seed is getting polluted. Hmm? Oh, we forgot where we are.
Text 4.
That's okay. Oh, yeah. The mass of people follow the example of a leader in society and imitate his behavior. They accept as evidence whatever the leader accepts. Hmm? So, although Ajamil was not punishable, the Yamdutas were insisting on taking him away to Yamaraj for punishment. This was adharma, contrary to religious principle. The Vishnudutas feared that if such irreligious acts were allowed, the management of human society would be spoiled. See how Prabhupada is speaking about that. No? The management of human society. Did you ever realize that you are being managed? Or is it that you are just living your life, as you like? So, I mean, this world, like when I grew up, I only knew wars. There was war here, there's war here, and even today, in my old age, still we're speaking of wars, wars, wars. So management means only go capture and control. Basically, that's what it's been, what's meant. But here, Prabhupada is speaking of something else. This dharma of the Vedic dharma, the Sanatan dharma. The Vishnu Duts fear that if such irreligious acts were allowed, the management of human society would be spoiled. In modern time, the Krishna consciousness movement is trying to introduce the right principles of management for human society. But unfortunately, the governments of Kali Yuga do not properly support the Hare Krishna movement because they do not appreciate its valuable service. So what's the problem? They don't appreciate what they're doing. All the time criticizing. Oh, why are you wasting money, on flower decoration? Why are you wasting your money in temples? Why do you donate? Right? Let these people still donate. Why are you doing book distribution? So much difficulty. So much difficulty. So the Hare Krishna movement is the right movement for ameliorating the fallen condition. See, as it is, people, they don't know, they are lost. They don't know what is dharma, what is adharma. They don't know what is good for themselves. It's pathetic, very pathetic, the way, like, every value is gone and everybody is doing somebody else's work. Men are doing the woman's work, women are doing the men's work, right? Shudras are trying to do the work of the Brahmanas, and the Brahmanas have no choice but do the work of the Shudras, right? Topsy-turvy. So management of human society is finished. Anyway, it's good that we are reading Bhagavatam, because actually it's, even the Prabhupada is speaking about all this. But Kali Yuga is such a horrible age. Actually, it's horrible, but it's very good for those who are intelligent. You get out of this world. Just get out. Don't ever put your hope that you will get a good manager of human society. Just give it a hope. The text 5:6. Yasyanti shiradhaya lokaswapitin nirvitaha swayam dharmam adharmam va nahi veda yatha pashuh anam kritamaitam achetanam vishrambha dhanyo bhutanam sagrino vidham arhati. People in general are not very advanced in knowledge by which to discriminate between a religion and irreligion. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, right? People in general are not very advanced in knowledge by which to discriminate between religion and irreligion. What is dharma? What is adharma? They are not able to discriminate. The innocent and enlightened citizen is like an ignorant animal sleeping in peace with its head on the lap of its master, faithfully believing in the master's protection. That's exactly what I was talking about, right? The general master, very aram say, they just relax and they do their work, their routine work, and then they break relative principles, right? And then they allow this business to open, that business to open. They put up a fuss, and then I'm thinking of this Cantor thing, was it KFI? Right? I remember some years back when it was supposed to open, this chicken I'm speaking. There was such a hue and cry about it. They oppose, and then they started doing, I don't know, chips. Potato chips, and then finally bringing the chicken chips, right? So they managed to do it, and all your children are going and eating there. And enlightened citizen, like an ignorant animal, sleeping in peace with its head on the lap of its master, faithfully believing in the master's protection. If a leader is actually kind-hearted and deserves to be the object of a living entity's faith, how can he punish or kill a foolish person who has fully surrendered in good faith and friendship? So you understand the qualification for Ajamil to be saved from hell? He sunk into total adharma out of ignorance. He gradually allowed himself to be carried away by the material senses. And he went down, right? He's going down. And he allowed himself to go down without realizing his consequences. When the consequences came, then he became completely fearful. He didn't expect that. He thought, we'll go on enjoying life nicely, happily forever. But at the time of death, he suddenly saw the Yamdut whereas he thought he's free. So he saw the Yamdut, but because by good luck, he was born in a Brahmana family, and he has practiced Krishna consciousness or Brahminical principle, at least he has practiced. So he remembered that Narayan. And out of habit also, in Indians, the sinful people, but everywhere you see Krishna bar, Gokul snack, Kentucky, right? Everywhere you see, they're so sinful. But they will continue to put their name, Nityananda Chicken. Isn't it? You walk around Bombay, you will see all Krishna's name and all sinful things going on there. Right? What happened? They're half dharmic and half adharmic. Right? So this is what happened with Ajami. Meaning that the root of being a Brahmana was with him, but he became degraded. So when he saw the Yamudita, he got so scared. But before that, he named his son Narayan, because his habit, right? His habit. Like maybe I said it, Navratri. I see so many girls in the temple, and I said, what was thinking like this? All these girls were drunk, right? Drunk, but still they came for Mangal Aarti. So this is the situation, unless you're pious and you have austerity in you, you won't get up early to come to the temple, right? They have just been enjoying life in the night, Navratri, so they were still up, so they saw the temple is here. So they put one foot in Radha Ras Bihari's temple, and they're coming from the pub, from Navratri pub. Right? Beautiful girls. Such a pity. Such a pity. So here, this Ajami, he's sleeping like an ignorant animal, in peace with his head on the lap of his master, thinking everything will be all right. Should we say, if the leader is actually kind-hearted and deserves to be the object of a living entity's space, so I have put my faith in you, like this poor child who takes birth in your home, he's put his 100% faith in you. The father is the hero. He's infallible, right? All of us, we thought like this, my father knows everything, infallible, right? So so the leader is the object of a living entity's faith. How can he punish or kill a foolish person? So this Ajami is a foolish man. He's fully surrendered in good faith and friendship. He just surrendered in all faith. So the Vishnu Jita say, how can a kind-hearted person, deny him shelter? This is his good fortune, that he's dealing with Vishnudut, with Vaishnavas who have compassion. Otherwise, he will just be the street urchin in the hands of the police. Right? The Sanskrit word Vishvasta, Dhat, refers to one who breaks faith or causes a breach of trust. The mass of people should always feel security because of the government's protection. Therefore, how regrettable it is for the government itself to cause a breach of trust and put the citizens in difficulty for political reasons. This is the greatest crime. is the greatest crime on behalf of a government. That the people, they put their faith in the government and they break their trust. They gamble with their wealth, right? When they go, they do all this business deal. They gamble with their wealth. They, if there is war, they won't give in even when they have lost. And therefore, the other party continues to fight. Maybe I'm thinking of Japan. Maybe I appreciated Japan, because I saw the story of how they released that bomb. I don't know which one first, Hiroshima or Nagasaki, one of them. So maybe Japanese people were so shocked. They never realize something like that can happen. So this person, he was, and I think he was a German, and he was employed by the Americans to make an atomic bomb. And he himself didn't realize the capacity of that atomic bomb. So when they released it, it was unheard of. So the Japanese, they dropped that bomb in one place. And people were just finishing ashes. They came into ashes. And those who survived were completely distorted. But still, they didn't realize, I guess they didn't realize what was going to continue to fight. And then when the Americans dropped the second bomb, then immediately appreciated, immediately the Japanese leader, he surrendered. He said he doesn't want the Americans to finish his people. He had some dharma in him. He had some dharma in him. Better surrender and protect my citizen than have this, this giant, irresponsible people fighting like adharma. They were not fighting, soldier to soldier. They were fighting the innocent people. Just see, we actually saw during the partition days in India that all the Hindus and Muslims were living together peacefully. Manipulation by politicians suddenly aroused feelings of hatred between them. And thus the Hindus and Muslims killed one another over politics. So I heard Prabhupada saying that 800 years, the Mughal, they ruled India for 800 years. They did all types of atrocities, but the general public, they lived together peacefully. But the politicians suddenly, made them become different, divide and rule. Right? We know the story of divide and rule. So they created hatred between the Muslim and the Hindus. And then they created one country that was built on hatred. Their only work is how can I, demolish this part. This is a sign of Kali Yuga. In this age, animals are kept nicely sheltered, completely confident that their masters will protect them. But unfortunately, as soon as the animals are fat, they're immediately sent for slaughter. You keep, a goat, a sheep, right? But now you have mutton, right? You have mutton. The Indians, they like to eat mutton. Lamb flesh. Bakri, right? They like to eat goat flesh. They like to eat chicken. So shameful when you travel on plane, you ask vegetarian or so-called chicken, yes, give me chicken. All the Indians are eating. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about it. But here Prabhupada is writing it in the holy pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He's saying, Unfortunately, as soon as the animals are fat, so they're fed nicely, right? And Prabhupada saying that the animals, they're eating the vegetables. So why don't you eat the vegetables? Why do you have to eat the animal? Why do you have to eat the animal? The animal is eating vegetable to live. So why don't you eat the vegetables? Why do you have to eat the animal who's eating the vegetable? Because you want the vegetable from the body of the animal, right? So why don't you eat the vegetables? Such cruelty is condemned by Vaishnavas like the Vishnudut. Indeed, the hellish conditions already describe away the sinful men responsible for such suffering. And the unfortunate thing is that our children are trained to eat meat. And they, without hesitation, they eat meat. One who betrays the confidence of a living entity who takes shelter of him in good faith, whether the living being entity be a human being or an animal, is extremely sinful. And Yamduta is waiting for them. Because such betrayers now go unpunished by the government, all of human society is terribly contaminated, is what I'm describing. The people of this age are therefore described as Manda, Sumanda, Matayo, Manda Bhagya hi Upadrutaha. As a consequence of such sinfulness, men are condemned. Mandaha. The intelligence is unclear. Even you talk to them, they can't understand. They can't understand that an animal has life, that you're causing pain to an animal. Yeah, the intelligence is unclear. Sumanda matayo. They are unfortunate. Manda bhagyaha. Unfortunately, bhag is gone. Right? Everybody wants to know what's in my bhagya, right? That bhag is gone. And therefore, they're always disturbed by many problems. Upadrustaha. This is their situation in this life, and after that, they're punished in hellish conditions. So because they are doing all these things, they are always disturbed by many problems. Fighting in the family, diseases, problem with all your neighbors, and so on and so on. That's 7. Ayam hi krita nivesho janma kotyam hasamapi yadavya jahara vivvasto nama sastyayanam harehe. Ajamil has already atoned for all his sinful actions. Indeed, he has atoned not only for sins performed in one life, but for those performed in millions of lives. For in a helpless condition, he chanted the holy name of Narayana. Even though he didn't chant purely, he chanted without offense, and therefore he is now pure and eligible for liberation. Now, a whole analysis is going to be given here. See, Ajamil actually is being a mercy case. Right? You understand this? He's being a mercy case. He doesn't deserve. He deserves hell. But because remembering Narayan from his previous practice, he called out the name of Narayan. So here the Vishnu Gita is saying, how can we not be merciful to him? If we are kind-hearted, this poor man, he's like he's like an animal sleeping his head on the lap of his master, expecting he will take care of him. And now out of fear, he chanted the name of our master. How can we neglect him? So this is a very, very I think we should stop here because a different section is starting. Now it's because if I start, I won't be able to stop. Is it okay or should we do one more?
We can finish this one, no, Mataji, since you have started.
The Yamdutas had considered only the external situation of Ajamil. All right, now pen and pencil, paper, everything. All right. How? What is the reasoning? Now all of us, we are initiated, right? We want to change. All of us. What is the power of this chanting? Right? We have been given something extremely valuable. And if we are so foolish that we stop chanting, where are we going? What will happen to us? So here, the power of this chanting is going to be described. So the Yamduta, they considered only what? The external situation of Ajamil. So even us as devotees, there are many things that we are doing, right? 1 foot here, 1 foot there. Or maybe, even maybe walk, quarter foot here, 3/4 foot somewhere else. All right. Since he was extremely sinful throughout his life, they thought he should be taken to Yamaraj and didn't know that he had become free from the reactions of all his sins. People, when they look at you, they don't know who you are, right? They don't know what you are doing. They don't know what punya you are accumulating or what sukriti and bhakti you are accumulating. They don't know. They only look at you now, and if you make some mistake, they judge you accordingly, isn't it? That's the world. So the Yamduta, because they are neophytes, right? They're neophytes. They are only they are just servants of Yamaraj. Bring this sinful man. So they only saw the external, that he's sinful. But actually, and here, he has been so, but they have been giving the record also that he's sinful throughout his life. So they thought that they didn't know he had become free from the reaction of all his sin. How? The Vishnu therefore instructed that because he had chanted the 4 syllables of the name Narayana, at the time of his death, he was free from all sinful reactions. Somewhere else, I don't know, we are reading so many books. Maybe here itself. According to you, why did Ajamil chant the name of Narayan at the time of death?
क्योंकि वो विष्णु यमदूतों को देख के डर गया था, तो out of fear.
Benigutraya Mama Papa, right? Why
No, he loved his
son.
son Narayan. So out of love and affection, he called.
He might
Narayan.
be wanting to, his son was close by. He loved his son. He looked at the Yamdut. He felt scared that probably the Yamdut coming from me can harm my son because he was in that, between this world and that world. So out of fear, out of love, it might be a mixed feeling altogether.
And we read something else before. In previous chapter, we read something else. When he chanted the name of his son, what happened that time? He actually remembered
Lord Narayan,
yes,
probably.
Yes. Actually, not probably, the Acharya says, not probably. The Acharya said he actually remembered that Narayan. Why?
Because at one given point of time, he done a lot of good things as well.
Because
ब्राह्मण था और उसने ये सब बचपन से ये प्रैक्टिस किया था.
Which is what I'm also saying.
Because that Narayan is embedded in his heart.
But Mataji, Narayan is embedded in everyone's heart. The Paramatma is always there with us.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And we already, that's why I say we should start this next week. This section. The Vishnu Dutas continued. Even previously, while eating at other times, this Ajamil would call his son, saying, "My dear Narayan, please come here." Although calling the name of his son, he nevertheless uttered the four syllables, Narayan. Simply by chanting the name of Narayana in this way, he sufficiently atoned for the sinful reactions of millions of lives. So, this Ajamil, because he's born in a family of Brahmana. It's not a small thing to be born in a family of Brahmana. You need huge sukriti, right? He was not born in a family of drunkards, Shudras and outcasts. He was born in a family of Brahmanas. So therefore, Narayana is already embedded in his heart. By accident, all right? By accident, he fell down by accident. And because he was weak-hearted, he was not sufficiently strong in his spiritual development. By accident, he saw a scene that made him fall down, right? And this person to whom he got hooked on didn't elevate him. We have the story of Bilva Mangal Thakur, isn't it? The story of Bilva Mangal Thakur. He was squandering away his family wealth with a prostitute, right? Chintamani. But when he came to such a point that he really was becoming degraded, that prostitute told him, if you actually had love for Govind, right? If the attachment that you have for this body, if that same attachment you had for Govind, where you will be today? So she awakened he's a Brahmana, right? Brahmana family. She awakened in him his past good sukriti. Whereas this one, she's dragging him down into hell. So here, the Yamaduta had considered only the external situation of Ajamil. Since he was extremely sinful throughout his life, they thought he should be taken to Yamaraj and didn't know that he had become free from the reaction of all his sins. The Vishnu Dutta therefore instructed that because he has chanted the 4 syllables of the name Narayana at the time of death, he was free from all sinful reactions. So even though the entire life, right, into his old age, he was doing sinful activities, but in between he was also doing some type of
Good thing.
bhakti.
Nice
Some
activity.
bhakti. He was also doing alongside, sinful alongside. This is the whole of population of India today, right? They're doing both good activity and sinful activity. That's what it is today, right? In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes the following verses from the Smriti Shastra. Namno hi yavati shakti papa nirhara hare hare tavat kartum na shaknoti Patakam Pataki
Pataki
Naraha.
Naraha.
Simply by chanting only one holy name of Hari, a sinful man can counteract the reactions to motion that is able to.
Come.
This chanting, this chanting that Ajamil did, was it just okay, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna? Was it like that?
No, it was intense.
Extremely intense. In Kunti Devi, Prabhupada said that the chanting of this man who's in a comfortable situation, this chanting that has no value at all. So all of us, we have to be very careful that we shouldn't chant, in a complacent way. Out of habit, we are chanting. Yes, yes. Yes. I'm chanting my 16, but I'm just chanting it in a very satisfied way, materially satisfied way. It has little effects. So if you are satisfied, okay, stay here. But who's a kinchana gochara, who has nothing and nobody, is a kincha gochara. So what happened to him? He's able to chant the way Ajamil chanted, with great intensity of fear. Narayan. Avashyenapi yannamni tire tite sarvapatake umam
Vimuchayate sadhya
vimvige.
simha.
If one chants the holy name of the Lord, even in a helpless condition or without desiring to do so, all the reactions of his sinful life depart, just as when a lion roars, all the small animals flee in fear. Okay? So here he's chanting. Okay, motivation is not proper. Isn't it? Motivation are not at all proper. He was chanting out of helplessness and he didn't intend to chant or without desiring to do so. Avashena pi yannami kirkirtite sarvapatekehe kumam vimuchante sadyah simha traster mrigar iva. Garud Puran. Everybody knows Garud Puran, right? Very famous. Very famous. Time of death, everybody reads Garud Puran. So before death, we should read Garud Puran, when you're already gone, right? Sakrit ucharitam yen harir ityakshara Badha parikarastena mokshaya gamanam pratihi. By once chanting the holy name of the Lord, which consists of the two syllables Hari, one guarantees his path to liberation. Skanda Puran. These are some of the reasons why the Vishnu objected to the Yamdoots taking Ajamil to the path of Yamaraj. Judgment. I have to go to court today. I have to go to court. Here the judgment, right? So he's been sent to court. Yamduta's taking Ajamil to court. But here say no. He chanted. What is it? Sakrit. Ucharitam yen. Sakrit. Even once.
Ariti
We are 10 minutes.
aksharattvaya.
So we took 10 minutes.
Paripurusharattena akshayagamanam.
Not 10 minutes, we took 12 minutes over this one verse. All right, and I don't want to stop because I've started.
Mm.
All right, the glories of the chanting, because it's going to now build up. So we'll have to redo this next when we meet on.
Yeah, because now it's philosophy, it's not story anymore.
So on Wednesday when we meet, so we're going to discuss this. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Panchakalpatrupyascha Sindhuvaivacha Pataka.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So
Krishna.
yes, please everybody, we are doing Bhadra Purnima book distribution, Shrimad Bhagavatam. So participate in it, find devotees who want to buy the Bhagavatam or who want to donate the Bhagavatam. There are plenty of devotees, who would like to have a set. We saw that whoever, sponsored the Bhagavatam, they took the Bhagavatam because somebody wanted, because it's a very large set and it is also quite a lot. People usually can buy, 50 rupee book, 100 rupee book, 200 rupee. This is large. So find donors among your friends and relatives.
Okay, Mataji.
On Wednesday at my place, no?
Sorry? Yes.
Wednesday?
Yeah.